Hi crochet bugs, welcome to my series How to Crochet for Beginners. I'm Nat and I'll be guiding you through this exciting journey of learning how to crochet. Whether you're totally new or just need a little refresher, I hope you'll find this series helpful and fun. In today's episode, we're starting with the basics. We'll cover how to hold your yarn, control your yarn tension, and explore different ways to hold your crochet hook. Then we'll dive into one of the most essential stitches, the single crochet, or SC for short. Once you've got that down, we'll practice by crocheting a simple rectangle. It's a great way to build your skills, and you'll work on it during the week to get comfortable with your technique. Here's what you need: yarn, any kind that you like. I'm using Charity Decay, easy to work with and perfect for a bigger hook. A 5mm crochet hook, or whatever hook you have on hand. I find the 5mm is so much easier to work with. Scissors and a stitch marker, but it's optional, but it's helpful. Let's get started, and don't worry if it takes a little time to get the hang of things. Practice makes perfect, and soon you'll be crocheting like a pro. Let's get started with how to hold our yarn. First, we lay the yarn across our fingers, tail, then we hold down the yarn with our thumb, just like this, placing it between your middle and your pointer finger. Then using your ring and your pinky finger, we hold down the yarn like this, securing it in place, just like this. See how easy that is? Let me show you again. Just so we're on the same page, we lay our yarn across our fingers, and then using our thumb, we hold the yarn down between our middle finger and our pointer finger, and using our pinky and our ring finger, we hold the yarn down in place. Once that is done, we wrap the yarn around the back. So you see, we wrap the yarn around the back of our fingers, then bringing it back to the front, we create a little cross just like this. Then we take it back to the back and use our pinky and our ring finger again to hold it in place. You see? Let me just show you that again. Turn it around, we wrap it, creating a little cross. Using our pinky, we hold it just like this. Now we've created 2 loops on the back of our fingers. We have a cross on any point of your fingers. I've learned that it comes for every person, depending on the tension you're holding it with, it comes up on the different sides of your finger. Then we turn our yarn over, watching you sew it, it'll feel very natural and normal. Once we've got the yarn in, we take our hook and we put it under the top loop, and we pick up the working yarn just like this, and we pull it through the loop. You see? Just like this, and now you've got a loop. It's as simple as that. So let me show it to you again, just a bit faster this time. So we wrap our finger, wrap it, hold it, take our hook, pull it through, and voila. See? All done. Once you've got your loop, give the working yarn a tug. So the working yarn is the yarn that is connected to the ball of yarn. So as you can see, it's this. So this is our working yarn. So you give it a young, small tug, and there you've got your first slip knot, which is your first stitch. But we call it a slip knot because you just slipped the yarn through, and it will be the start of our working chain. Now we're going to learn how to hold the yarn. We're going to start off with holding the yarn. To hold the yarn, lay it across your palm and wrap it through between your middle finger and your forefinger, that's your pointer finger, and then bring it back to the front, making a full loop just like this, right? Then instead of wrapping it all the way around the second time, we do a half wrap, and then we wrap it around. We create a half loop around the forefinger like this. Now we're gonna use the rest of our fingers to hold the yarn down just like this. I know everyone holds the yarn a little differently, but this is what feels most comfortable to me and to some people. So this is how we're gonna hold it. There are two main ways to hold the crochet. The first is called the pencil hold. It's just like holding a pencil. We grip the hook as if we're about to write. The difference is you place your thumb on the thumb rest of the hook, then you place your pointer finger onto the back of the hook, onto the back rest of the hook. Then you use your middle finger to be able to guide the yarn, so it's gonna guide, and then you'll use your other fingers to like hold it like a pencil. So I'm just gonna rewrap, right? And then so we're gonna loop the hook through, and then you see using the only fingers that are working are our pointer fingers, and you're gonna pull through. So we're gonna do that again. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. Let's repeat this process again. So again, take your thumb, the front of the wrist of the thumb rest. You're gonna take your finger, you see it is placed in between the full finger and the thumb, just like here, right? So then that's that. Then you're gonna take the middle finger and we're gonna use it as a guiding finger, right? So it's gonna guide the yarn, the hook through. And then the rest are just gonna, then our finger next to the pinky is gonna hold the yarn in place. So you're gonna wrap the yarn around the hook, then you're gonna pull through, and voila, you have 2 chains on the hook. See, just simple. Next is the second way to hold the hook, which is my favorite. It is the knife hold. For this one, we hold the hook like with our forefinger resting on the top of the thumb, like on top of the hook itself to hold the yarn in place, and then our middle finger resting on the back rest of the thumb rest here. So it's like this, and this, and then the rest of our fingers are the guides now. So it's not our middle finger that's the guide, it's the it's the pinky and the forefinger next to the pinky. I'm not sure what that finger is called, but you see it's like this. Then you keep everything in place. And now just like what we did with the pencil hold, we'll loop the yarn over the hook and then we'll pull through. You see? So while we're doing that, you saw my finger move here. It's because it had nothing to do. So let's do it again. So thumb, middle finger, holding it down, holding my yarn. Loop, loop. You can loop it either that way or you can loop it this way. I have found that looping it this way is easy for me as I've grown to learn how to crochet, but for some people it's easier to loop it that way. So we're gonna do it again. Loop and pull through, and here we are. So far on our hook we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can pick which one you're feeling comfortable with, or both techniques. We'll make 15 of these chains, these little beautiful loops that we've made here. And yeah, so we're gonna chain together. I'm using the knife hold, so remember, if you're using the pencil hold, you can rewind and rewatch how I was doing the pencil hold. Okay, so we're gonna chain 15. So this is a bit of practice. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're gonna loop going on, gonna pull through the loop, and loop going on. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now that we have our foundation chain of 15 stitches, we are going to start crocheting into the foundation chain. So when we say into, we mean into each loop that we made, half loop basically that we made. When crocheting into the foundation chain, we always skip the first stitch closest to the hook. So the first stitch closest to the hook would be this one, the one that we just finished, stitch number 15. This makes it easier to crochet and leaves a nice and neat edge for starting and ending. So let's get into crocheting our rectangle. We are not going to go through the first. We're going to skip this stitch. We're going to go into the next chain, our on our hook, this one. So we're going to go into the top part only of the chain. So what we do, we are going to push the yarn through that exact chain that I just showed you. We're going to create a loop, we're going to pull out through. So now you have 2 loops on your hook, right? That's 2. So we're going to loop our yarn onto the hook, and then we're going to pull through both loops. That's 1. So let's do that again. You are going to take your yarn. So you see I'm holding the yarn in place with my pointer finger. So that's what meant to happen. So we're going to go with our hook and we're going to push it through the next stitch, right? Just like this. We're going to loop. You're going to pull through the loop on the chain, and as you can see I have 2 loops on the hook, and you're going to pull through both those loops. And there you have it. You have 2 single crochet stitches. Now we're going to do it all the way to the end, and you should have 14 stitches once it's done. So let's do it together again. So push through the chain, pull the yarn through. You have 2 loops, pull it through 2 loops, push through 2 loops, push through, bring it 2 loops, and there you have it. You have your few stitches. Now we're gonna crochet until we have 13 stitches in our foundation chain, and then we'll see each other back here. Okay, so now we've got our foundation chain. We have 1 chain left. So we're gonna just, for me this is always the difficult chain to push through. So what I do is I just push through again like normal and just pull through, and then I have a full row 1. So here's my row 1, beautiful as ever. And so now we're gonna chain 1 and turn our work. Why chain 1? This little chain helps keep our edges straight and clean. If we don't chain 1, we'll end up with uneven edges. I'll show you what it looks like. So we don't chain 1. No, let's not chain 1. Right? So let's just turn and crochet into the very first stitch, to the second stitch, cycle on and on. So already your edge is looking a bit bulky, and that's why sometimes some people's crochet projects will go wide, they'll go in and a wavy. That's because of the chain 1. So let's go back. So we chain what? Once we're done with the crochet, we chain 1. The reason why you chain 1 before you turn is so that you don't forget to chain 1. It's very simple. And you see, we definitely do not want that little bulky movement on the edges of our thing. The stitch marker is a very simple object. You use it to either keep your progress or guide you at the edges. For me, I'm going to show you, you're going to use it to guide you through the edges. So here's a stitch marker I got. There's many different types of stitch markers. Get the one that you are most comfortable with. So this is the one I'm going to use to guide me through the edges. Right? So I'm going to put it through the very first stitch. This will tell me whether it's the end or the start of the row. So this is the start, well, end or start, so I don't mix up and I do not get again those funky edges that you would get. So yeah, so this is end. So the other ones that you can use, it's a paper clip or a hair clip or a piece of yarn, English, not English, a piece of yarn. So I'm just gonna put it through here. Then I'm gonna, for the next one, I'm gonna use a hair clip. So then again, I'm gonna show you, push through both loops. You see, both loops are on my hook, just like this. And then you loop, pick it up. You have to loop through. See? So now we're gonna crochet, and then I'll see you when we have 1 stitch left. So now we have 1 stitch left. So we're gonna see, here's our last stitch. So be careful not to crochet into the thing. So here's our last stitch, 14 stitches. So we're going to crochet into that. We're going to pull through 2. We're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1. We're going to turn our work, and voila, you have 2 rows of single crochet. It's pretty, isn't it? And you can do it. You're becoming a crochet artist. So now we're going to chain. We're going to crochet in. So now we're going to crochet into the first stitch just like this, and then we're going to place a stitch marker. So I'm going to use a head clip for this one just to show you how I would use it. There you go, we have a head clip, and then you're going to crochet all the way to the other side. I'll meet you back here when we have. Okay, so here we are. We have 1 stitch left, which is housing our stitch marker. So what we do is we're just going to slip the stitch marker out, and then we're just going to tighten our tension. We're going to do the normal thing, just crochet 1, chain 1, crochet, single crochet, chain 1, turn our work, and then crochet right into the first stitch, and then replace our stitch marker. Now that you have 3 rows, I trust that you'll be able to do it all the way through. So you got 2 more rows. If you have any issues with crochet, you can rewind the video again and go to the parts where you are struggling to crochet. Once you've completed your 5 rows, we're ready to finish off. So what we're going to do is we're going to crochet in the last 2 stitches, just like this. And yes, I did lose my bow. Crochet in the last 2 stitches like this. Right, so we're going to chain 1. That's making a slip knot. And then we're going to take our scissors. Oh, they finally come in handy. And then we're going to cut a long chain. And then using our hook, we're going to pull the yarn through, tightening it and making a slip knot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and this is what it looks like from the back. This is what it looks like from the front. So you can decide which one you want to be the front and which one you want to be the back. It's as simple as that. And there you have it, a simple single crochet stitch and a rectangle in one day. Who knew you could do it? Oh, you did it. You can officially crochet. Congratulations. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to see. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe to see what we'll be turning this rectangle into next week. Also, feel free to leave a comment below with suggestions for other tutorials or share what you liked about today's episode. Bye, crochet bugs, and see you in my next episode.